touch it. All right. Just so that everybody knows, welcome to the January 2020 meeting, 22 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals of the City of Norwalk. And as a quick count, we have 5 board members who are from my left to right on the screen. Marilyn Altman, our staff person Tammy, Lee Levy, Chris, and somewhere along the line, I'm missing a couple of people. What's going on here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Who am I missing?
Keith. I am here.
I got Keith, I got Marilyn and me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who are we missing? I shouldn't be drawing a blank here.
Did we say Chris? We have Chris.
Yeah, Lee, there's 5 of us.
Yeah.
There's 5 of us.
Okay, somebody got pushed out of the lineup here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So who's our 5th person? Andy, Marilyn, Lee, Chris, and
Marilyn.
Keith jumped to the big screen. That's what Keith is with us. You know, if you talk, the way Zoom's set up, you can have the speaker enlarge, and so you can he'll drop out or she'll drop out of the little photos and show up as a large one. So that's who the board is this evening. Go ahead. Keith. I was late recognizing you.
Yes.
Does that sound familiar? Yeah. Anyway, I can't mute myself right now because I got to read a little tidbit here. Let me draw your attention to this. The members of the public can call in and listen to a meeting. They will not be able to speak or see any of the meeting participants if they call in. Each meeting will use a unique meeting webinar ID. Please find the information using the link above, and that link is at norwalk.org 1913 meeting notices. Members of the public who wish to provide live comments will need to register in advance and use the Zoom meeting platform. All participants will be muted upon entering the meeting. To speak, click the raise your hand indicator, and you will be called on by the host of the meeting during the public comment section. Please find the information using the link above, which I just mentioned. Members of the public who wish to view the meeting but are not participating can view a live stream on the City of Norwalk YouTube channel. This stream is delayed by approximately 20 seconds. Please find the information using the link above. The meeting recording and minutes will be posted on the City of Norwalk website within 7 days after the meeting. Members of the public who wish to provide public comment are encouraged to submit those via email in advance of the meeting. For those comments to be read into the record, they should be submitted at least 4 hours in advance of the meeting start time. To T Maldonado at norwalkct.org. So with the meeting called to order and with the attendance having been read out, the roll call is complete. So we'll be ready to begin with the public hearings. Mr. Secretary, would you start with 220120-01, please?
Yes.
I'm sorry, we're going to skip ahead. Sorry, Lee, we're going to skip ahead to
B.
item B.
Yeah, 22012003 rather than 01.
Okay. Subject 22-0120-01, 58 Van Zant Street.
No, the next one
No,
down.
Loudons.
We're going to
That's what I thought.
quickly.
Okay, subject 22-0120-03, 22.5 Loudons Avenue. Variance to allow decrease in minimum lot width, required 50 feet, proposed 22.4 feet for proposed lot A, section 118-350C in C resident zone. property located at 22.5 Loudons Avenue, District 2, Block 90, Lot 10. Request: the applicant seeks to subdivide an existing lot into 2 parcels. The street frontage falls short of the required dimension to provide the minimum lot width of 50 feet for each parcel. Background: the property consists of a main building, single-family dwelling, which is non-conforming as to front setback, and an accessory building, single-family dwelling, which is existing non-conforming for use and setbacks. While C resident zone allow for 2-family use, the dwelling units must be within the same structure. Analysis and finding: while staff cannot identify a zoning hardship to support this request, there is benefit to removing the 2 existing non-conforming structures. The board could consider conditioning an approval with the requirement that no height or bulk variances will be sought for the proposed dwellings.
I
Mr.
understand,
Chairman,
Tammy, that they wanted to, thank you, Lee, that they wanted to, the applicant wanted to delay till next month. Is that correct?
That's correct. Chris Russo is going to speak for the applicant, or as the applicant.
Chair-
Okay, let me,
Chairman, Chris Russo, with Russo and Rizzio LLC, offices at 10 Sasko Hill Road in Fairfield, here on behalf of the applicant, 22 Lowndes Avenue LLC. And we are requesting continuance to the next hearing. There was comments that were provided today from some neighbors. I've already been in contact with a couple of them to meet with them next week and go over the plans with them. So we'd respectfully request additional time to be able to meet with neighbors and then hopefully come before you at next month's hearing.
I have no objection to it being delayed and leaving the hearing that we just open until next month, unless anybody on the board objects. Does anyone object?
no objection here.
No objection.
No.
All righty. I do want to say, though, when you do come next month, keep in mind that staff didn't find a hardship. So that means that you need some pretty big bargaining chips. With that in mind, that gives you something to think about between now and next month.
Yes, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Next, Lee, is the one we began with.
Yes. Subject 22-0120-0158 Van Zant Street, Franco Ione. Variance to allow conversion of a garage space to apartment and detached garage previously granted by variance in 1992. Rear setback variance 20 feet required, 1.75 feet existing and proposed, section 118-51-0C in neighborhood business zone. Property located at 58 Van Zant, District 3, Block 39, Lot 7. Request: the applicant seeks to convert existing detached garage first floor space to a residential unit. The variance was granted in 1992 for the placement of the garage. The variance was granted with conditions of site improvements in 2019 to convert the second floor garage storage space to a residential unit. Zoning and building permits were obtained in 2019. Required site improvements were completed and CO was issued. The applicant would now like to convert the lower level to an additional dwelling unit. The parking requirement will comply without the single garage bay. There are 9 exterior parking spaces provided and 9 required with the proposed additional dwelling per 2019 parking requirement changes for multifamily use. Analysis and findings. This proposal would be an as-of-right application if the detached garage were not previously granted by variance. Staff believes this is a reasonable request as no additional variances for parking density or recreation areas are required. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Speaking for the applicant is who?
I'm Franco Ainoni. I'm the owner of the property.
Hi, Frank.
Good evening, everyone.
And I was out at your property today. I looked at it. Marilyn Altman went out. We took some photos. She took some photos. I took some photos. We have some questions, but maybe you want to make your presentation first.
Yeah, I was listening to your questions if you want me to hop in them, but so the existing garage, I just bought the property a few months ago. I've been doing the right thing. I obviously converted the garage, got a permit to convert the garage, and saw that the surveyor, I used the same surveyor that did the variance previously. He updated the survey and he made sure we had the correct amount of parking spaces and the recreational space that we need as per your requirement. I filed the application. And when I filed the application, I was dealing with John Haydecke, a very nice gentleman. Basically, he said, everything looks good. Just give me a couple of days. So I started cleaning up the building and I removed the garage door. And there was a whole bunch of stuff inside the garage. And I had a dumpster delivered. And I started cleaning up the place, thinking I can get it all ready to go so I can get, I just had to put a little 2x4 wall in the middle to separate a bedroom and was going to be ready to get an inspection once I get permits. And that's why the dumpster is there with all the stuff in there. So I just started it. I'm sorry. I'm not, wasn't trying to do anything, sneaky by all means. The other comment that I heard you guys mention earlier about the 20 feet, the survey showed and still shows that it's 20 feet from the rear. So that caught me by a little bit by surprise. If by eye, it looks less than 20 feet. So I don't know what else to say, but I'm going by a surveyor. And it was
Yeah,
updated.
it could be that Frank, it could be that the parking goes in deeper than the survey shows and therefore eats into the 20 feet. I don't know. Or there's something coming out, there's a fence pushed out and doesn't have the.
Did somebody put a tape measure to it today?
I didn't put a tape measure to it. That's why I think we need to verify it, but it didn't look like 20 feet.
If I look at where the parking is and in relationship to the staircase on the side of the building on the survey.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it on my desk. I can screen share it with you guys. It looks pretty accurate to my eye. I mean, I'm not there right now to measure it.
I think we need to take another look at it. And we could condition in any approval that the invest exists as it mentions on the plot plan.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy, I don't mean.
Wait a minute. There was a 10th space listed on the plot plan, which your main building has a couple of staircases that come down to, as you're facing the building from the back, would be on the right of the larger piece of the main building. Is that 10th space really the 10th space, or were you thinking?
I'm not. The 10th space is going to be there in front of the
staircase,
as the survey shows.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, and you need 9, right?
I believe it, when I was doing all the math with John Haydecke, we needed a 10th.
So So what wasn't accounted for, Franco, was that you do get mixed use parking reduction, which we honored for the 2019 variance application, and it applies in this situation as well.
So that means, sorry.
I wanted to just back things up. I'm sorry, I missed mentioning that there was a question of the notice requirements. And I just wanted to make sure the board members were okay with the applicant does have proof that certified mailing was sent. It was just overlooked to select the return receipt.
So you verified that they were sent, Tammy? I'm not clear with your description of that happened.
So I have the receipts that demonstrate that they were mailed certified mail, yes.
Okay.
But
Okay, no, that's fine.
okay,
Yeah, that there was a tent, which is right at the back of the staircases. And there actually is, because of the dumpster being there, some parking right as you come in the main driveway. You head in toward the garage itself. There's parking right at the end of the garage. I don't know if you intend that to be parking in the future.
No, I don't. I'm using that space because of the dumpster, as you said, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it just didn't look like 20 feet, and I think we need that verified that it is, particularly since you want to use it as a recreation area.
Well, is that 20 feet needed for, based on the variance that we're going for right now? I'm just trying to get clarification. I apologize.
Well, the way I look at it is you tell us what you're providing. And if you say it's 20 feet, then it needs to be 20 feet. Is that a problem for you?
I think we needed it. I went over this with John Haydecke before, so let me just back up one other thing. So, this was all at the 11th hour found that the variance is needed for this. And I think I mentioned that before, and I got everything submitted in immediately, and went over the numbers with what is needed for parking and the open space that's already there. There was already over space, so we were able to reduce some of the area to create the tent space right there. So,
Okay, whether or not you need the tent space, we're talking about the recreation area. This came up in the last effort by the last owner to get the variance at that time that they had adequate recreation area. If you want to proceed tonight, that's fine. As I said, we can condition it that it has to be what the plot plan shows.
exactly. So how do you guys want me to satisfy the condition? Have the surveyor go back out there? I mean, I just paid a legal surveyor to do it, so I gotta get.
I'll leave it in Tammy's hands is to determine and verify that it's the 20 feet.
Perfect.
And whatever
what we
width
would do,
is, so
Franco,
we're
is
fine.
after the permits are issued, we would require a final as-built from the surveyor prior to zoning compliance.
I thought you guys were gonna require that anyway. A final as-built. I mean,
Yeah, in general we do, but
I
this is
do,
just how we,
pools and
so
everything every day.
I think
always get an
Andy's
as-built.
concern may be that the survey is not signed and sealed. So, I mean, I know this surveyor, so I have confidence. I don't know them personally, but I've seen their surveys before, so I have confidence in them. But, we'll
mine is-
certainly ask for,
Sir-
what's that?
Sorry, Mike, the copy I submitted to you guys is stamped inside, I believe. I have one in
Well,
front of me.
here's a copy here, and it's
Yeah, but
not.
so I submitted as per John Haydecke. He said he didn't need all 11 stamped and signed, and I was
Okay.
able to plot
But
it.
it may be, I'm saying
You
maybe
have
Andy
one
got a
in
copy
file
that's
somewhere.
not. So we'll just, I
Yeah.
don't think it's not affecting tonight's review, but we're
I
just
get
gonna
it.
ask for
No, I was
that.
just surprised that you didn't have a stamped one. That's all.
Yeah. They usually routinely do that. I mean, but
Yeah, I did hit into like just maybe 2 or 3 stamped, and then the rest were just
Gotcha.
printed, but with the original stamp on the PDF
gotcha.
or the
All right.
signature.
Tammy, the other concern was that the recreation area be the recreation. not
Right.
some,
So-
not just
yeah, we'll-
some artful description, but in fact would be the recreation area.
I agree that, you can condition any, if you choose to approve, you could add that as a condition that,
Right.
all site improvements must be met per the proposal.
Okay.
Is recreation area just grass? As
It
is?
can be. It does need to include, some type of, typically we ask for picnic table or a barbecue area or something like that.
Yeah, there was a barbecue out there. I don't know if you guys missed it.
What, I didn't see it, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you can put a barbecue out there, no big deal. What was the big deal, the last request for variance was the recreation area was a fiction. And we had to insist that it become real.
Mhm.
So I'm insisting the same thing.
Mhm.
I insist that it become real.
Mhm.
Now, it seems I would need my board members to agree, and I kind of think they will, but you put it on the plot plan and you presented it to us in your application.
Mhm.
And I'm saying, okay, is that a real recreation area?
Andy, one of the things I think we could do is request that the spaces 1 through 6 be outfitted with wheel stops that can't be pulled out so that no cars can start parking on the recreation area.
That'd be good. I don't know if they're there now, but
There's a
those-
huge curb there. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Yeah, there's a huge curb,
Okay,
like a straight one, like a asphalt curb. You cannot drive over it unless you're gonna ruin your bumper.
okay.
but you can hang your bumper over a couple feet, right, Frank?
I guess anywhere, yeah. I mean, it's pretty high, so.
Yeah,
unless you have a
sometimes you set
truck-
the stops, sometimes you set the stops back a couple of feet to keep them from doing that and encroaching into the area. I mean, the area is not huge. I mean, I got the pictures of it and we could look at those, but I don't know that really is going to gain us anything here.
Mhm.
Because we don't have a tape measure and we don't have the exact
Yeah,
measurement,
yeah.
what's provided in your plot plan.
So,
Okay, the board members beside Marilyn and I who went out and looked, anybody else have any questions on the setup at the lot?
Not on the lot. I hope he has conferred with the building department as to all the building and any energy code work that will be required to convert this garage to a residence.
is that a question to me? I'm sorry.
Yes,
It is.
What was the question again?
He
the
wondered.
question is, I hope you
met
have,
with the building.
I'm sorry, you guys were talking over each other. I
Okay.
didn't make out.
I hope that you have conferred with the building department as to the building and energy code requirements for the conversion of the garage to a residence.
I definitely getting a building permit and it's gonna be insulated.
That isn't what it, well, okay, you're just saying that you're gonna do it. I asked if you had conferred with the building department yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a building
No,
permit.
have you talked to a building inspector?
Yes, I already discussed this whole thing because I thought we were gonna go and get the permit. Yes, I spoke to Bill Ireland and Pete Kelly, I believe, about it.
Okay, so you'll be able to provide the 2 means of egress, fire requirements and energy requirements.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get it legally done by electrician. Everybody's gonna be, I'm not doing it myself. And it's gonna be all inspected with all the requirements.
Good.
Any other board member have a question that they'd like to ask?
I do not.
None.
Okay. Chris, did you say none?
No, I have no questions.
Okay. let's move on, and if you don't have anything else, Frank, and see if is there anybody online that is supportive of your request.
Yeah, my last comment was, the garage was already granted. I figured it was the same structure. I was just converting the garage and making sure I had the requirement driveway, parking and space for recreation. And so I appreciate your time tonight, and hopefully you guys can consider my application. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think we're going to get to it pretty quickly because you're the only application we're actually into any depth in tonight.
Great.
Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor who's waiting in the wings?
Have 4 people on from the public tonight, so if you would like to make a comment on this application, please use the raise your hand feature to signal to us that you would like to make a comment at this time. And the tool's at the bottom of your screen if you're not aware.
Let's give them a minute, and then if none, we'll go to is anybody opposed to this group, if there are any. All right, are there any folks that are opposed that want to speak tonight at the meeting?
Not seeing any hands, so.
Okay. So with that in mind, I'm going to close the hearing. I don't think, Frank, you need to talk against yourself, so you don't need to go through it again.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
So we'll deal with the item, and you can either get the information from zoning tomorrow, or you can just hang around on Zoom and we'll see what happens.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna wait around. Thanks.
Okay, just make sure you mute yourself because we can't
Absolutely.
have you participate from this point forward.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. With that in mind, we should recognize that we had one that departed very early and never even made it to tonight's agenda. We have one that's being held over to next meeting next month, and we have 58 Van Zant to deal with right now. Let's just open discussion. And with that in mind, does anybody have any thoughts, comments?
I really have no objection to the conversion. My concern was that it sounds like at some point he wanted to slip this past the city without any review. I think now he's becoming upfront and honest about it. And, he's obviously getting his variance, and we'll be pulling building permits. So, which I encourage him to do. But I have no objection to the variance request.
So by adding the condition that, remember, those of you who think back just a bit, that we did have an issue about the recreation area with the last owner
Yes,
when they asked for their second variance. And now that we have a new owner and we're looking at the third variance, I think that recreation item becomes even more dominant because we're not going to dismiss the needs of the tenants.
oh, I agree. I think that recreation area, in some way we should try to protect it a little better.
Yeah, I think so too. How about anybody else? What's your thoughts?
I'm in favor of the application as long as there's parking.
And a
Yeah,
recreation area.
There's
What's that?
parking here. I think
Yeah.
it's adequate.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as the parking's adequate and the city seems happy with that. So I'm in favor of the application.
Yeah,
I
I make a motion
Yeah, to do what?
to approve it. with the requirement the recreation area be,
As
what-
per plot plan.
yeah,
I agree. I would second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I,
Any abstentions? Anybody against?
Hey, Andy, you wanted to add the requirement of the final as-built for all site improvements, just to get that on the record, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I want the plot plan verified, particularly the size of the recreation area. But I think Keith had that in his motion.
No, I didn't specify it quite as well as Tammy did, so.
We'll use Tammy's language.
Mhm.
good
All
one.
right. Keith accepts the friendly amendment. Okay, so since we were all in favor and we passed the item, and there's really no reason to change that and go back and vote it. I think we're all set. Anybody object?
No,
No,
All right, we're good. So with that done, it is passed with the conditions that we set. And our next item would be that we need to not skip over the minutes because we don't have much else to do tonight. I think it would probably be remiss of us to speed past the minutes.
I read
was
through
pretty
them
much
and
up-
I have no objections, no changes.
There was one error in there, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, it had to do with Tad leaving the board. No, it's Greg leaving the board that created the opening for Maryland. Tad is an alternate. It was a permanent position.
Okay, you're right.
Position on the board. And it's toward the end of the minutes. In fact, it's like second from last paragraph. And it says, and that's all will become regular member of the zoning board when District Diesel leaves the board. And the answer is that it wasn't Ted, it was Greg. So with that change, anybody else have a change with minutes?
No,
None.
None? All right, so all in favor, say aye.
aye,
I,
aye.
Any against? Any abstentions? Any now or forever hold your peace. Okay, it passes. Are there any announcements, Tammy, or anything that we need to know of coming up here? We didn't lose Tammy, did we?
No, I'm here. We had some question. I wasn't sure who was going to be able to attend. Now we're going to have a full schedule in February, a full agenda in February, but I think we only have 4 attending. Is that correct?
At the moment, we only have 4 attending unless by some miracle.
is that because I have been remiss in not responding?
No, we didn't have any. I think someone mentioned when we were going over the calendar that February didn't work.
I
but
may
don't remember.
not be around.
Yeah,
It's
Okay.
Lee. It's Lee that has a trip planned for that time period.
right.
And then Keith has something planned for March, if I recall correctly.
Indeed, I do. The marriage of one of my daughters. How about that?
oh,
Congratulations.
Sounds like
Congrats.
you can't miss that particular one.
I think you're quite right. I've already canceled travel trips so that I don't get COVID and can't go to Norway to do the wedding. So it's the pressure's on.
The pressure is definitely on, so what you need to do is come up with one of those miracle cures, because if you get it, you got to get over it real fast.
That's true. And I don't think that tennis player's cure is going to be quite the one that works.
I saw on the city's website that they now have a map of where the intense COVID cases are. And they're pretty much all around the area of the hospital. Now, these are people, residents that get it. So they're around the hospital and then down toward Golden Hill. So it kind of looks like medical staff is primarily catchers and spreaders of COVID currently. So you want to be careful when you go anywhere near a medical facility.
Andy, every time I enter a hospital or medical facility, I am always tested.
Well, I wear triple mask, and that sounds a little flaky, but you know, I think that might be serving me well. I hope none of you get it. I hope that we can come up with some alternate members and smooth out the February, March meetings. Hi,
Are there-
Chris.
Okay,
I have a quick question. Are there any prospects in the pipeline for members now, or there's none?
Well, actually, I'm going to say there aren't, but there are two people that we were interested in and we're talking with, but nobody jumped right in there and said, boy, I really want to be on the ZBA. So
Okay.
if you have a prospect, have them give me
There
a
is
call.
somebody who mentioned something to me. That's why I asked. I don't know.
Have them give me a call. So, because I think we could forward names to the city clerk and or the mayor. I have done that with council members and they keep not proceeding. They haven't really followed up. So the mayor has been pretty good about getting things done. So I think passing stuff to him through the city clerk is our best strategy.
Okay.
Tammy, I will make an effort next week to get to the clerk's office to get sworn in.
Thank you.
That'd be good, Lee. That'd be good.
Yeah,
You're legal now because of the way the charter reads, but you know, it would be good to get sworn in.
I will.
Marilyn, I think you got sworn in, right?
Yes, I did.
Very good. So fantastic. I'm glad to have you aboard. Anybody that you might hear of that's interested in the way I had envisioned this a few years back and then tried to get us to convert to, which was to bring people in as alternates. And if they show promise and interest, then have them become a full board member. And I think we should try to continue to follow that. So we should look for people to come in, be an alternate. And if they don't like it and don't want to do it, then we will replace them.
Yeah.
But if they do like it and have a strong interest, then they're going to replace board members. And, you know, board members don't last forever. So, and by the way, just so you know, I have been specifically asking for at least 2 female alternates and at least 2 minority member alternates. And I'd ask that everybody not be residents of Rowayton and or Wilson Point. And there's a reason for that. We're a 5-person board. And we got 3/5 of the board living in one small area of the town. And I think we need members from other areas of the town. Now, Lee is for Silvermine, and that's good. Last I looked, Lee's a guy. So, you know, having more women on, I think, would be a really good thing because we've done well when we've had more women. And I think having minority population represented, even with the minority becoming the majority. And let's get that moving. So if you know folks that you think might be interested in, but had never really thought about it, ask them. Get their names.
No, I've been, I will think about it. Whoever.
Great, terrific, fantastic. We have anything else? Anybody have any things bubbling up?
No,
All right, well, then we could have an early evening then.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Yes, I second.
Second, I agree.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're
Good night,
adjourned.
everyone.
Have a
Good
good
night.
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 Good to
Thank
see you.
you.